I am going to talk about it now. I'm going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 236. My initial knee-jerk reaction to chapter 236 of Jujutsu Kaisen, because I unfortunately did have it spoiled for me. I didn't look up the leaks. I had it actually spoiled to me by Chainsaw Man fans. You guys, dear Lord, the behavior from every single community, anime and manga related community on the internet over the past like 5 days, week, has been fucking foul, dude. It's like every community collectively came together and said, we're gonna fuck this up for everyone. And fuck it up they did. So yeah, essentially I got spoiled online. People made memes. People said, a lot of people celebrating the events of the chapter saying, haha, JJK sucks, this happened, blah, blah, blah. But yes, it's Gojo. It's Gojo. That's what happened in the newest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. I made a tweet as a joke where I said, at least I have one less manga to read every Sunday now. And that was my knee-jerk reaction. And also, a few disclaimers here. Disclaimer number 1, this is just my opinion. Anything I say after this, I have more of a deep opinion than just it was good versus it was bad. Getting that out there now. I'm not just saying, like, it's bad. It does feel like shock value. Gege Akutami, Greg Akutami, loves to throw in his fucking shock value ass pull kills, which I personally don't think is very good writing. That's just my opinion. So that's disclaimer number 1. Disclaimer number 2, though I promise that this does not make my opinion bias, because I have put a lot of thought into this. Satoru Gojo is my favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen. I have a fucking figure of him right there in the corner. You can kind of see him. But I promise you that doesn't bias my opinion, and I'll tell you why later. I pull up the chapter. We can read it if you want. I can go through with you guys what my problem with the chapter actually is as we go through it. Because actually, I'll tell you this right now. Not only do I not have a problem with Gojo dying, I actually expected that to happen. And I think a lot of people expected it to happen. That's not what makes it bad. Also, you know what? It's not even the fact that he was off screen. I don't think that's bad either. I was okay with it when it happened in Tokyo Ghoul. I'm okay with it now. The problem is here. So how was the King of Curses? Man, he was crazy strong. Plus, Sukuna didn't even go all out. I'm not sure if I could have beaten him even if he didn't have Megumi's 10 Shadows. Whoa, he's so strong he made you admit that? Even if Gojo isn't actually dead, even if he comes back to life next chapter, or 10 chapters from now, I still think this is terrible writing. I believe this is the worst part of it. I did go back and reread the entire fight between Gojo and Sukuna, and the lead up to the fight. I went back and reread it, and though the beginning of the fight did kind of come off as, like, it had its backs and forths, and it even looked like Sukuna was kind of winning the Battle of Domains for a while. Yes, exactly. I see Avatar Desto saying it there. Sukuna's power level is very inconsistent. At the end of the fight, Gojo was essentially clapping Sukuna cheeks. It was 3v1, and Gojo was still fucking clapping his cheeks. And Gojo, it was a beautifully played, like, ooh, baby, a triple. It was a beautiful fight. I actually think by the end of the fight, it was fantastic. And having Gojo win like that was incredibly satisfying. But to have it end like that, it's such a disrespect. And especially, Gojo won the fight. Like, he was the much better fighter of the two. And then and Sukuna was on the fucking ropes. Sukuna was panicking. He was like, oh fuck, like Mahoraga, get him. Like, it wasn't, like he did not have it in the bag. And to have it turn around and have Gojo say, let me pull it up. He didn't even go all out. Plus, Sukuna didn't even go all out. He was crazy strong. I don't think I could have beaten him even if he didn't have the 10 shadows. Like, in what world? In what world does that make sense? To Gege Akutami's credit as a writer, and to the outcome of the fight, to the credit of the outcome of the fight, there was a point in the fight where I think it was Yuta Okotsu who mentioned Gojo can go all out in this fight because he doesn't have to worry about anything afterwards because we're here to deal with Kenjaku. Sukuna has to leave a little bit in the reserve. If Gojo loses, he still has to fight us. To Gege's credit, that was mentioned. Sukuna had to fight and conserve his energy. So Sukuna couldn't necessarily go all out. But it's completely nullified by the fact that at the end of the fight, Sukuna was left completely out of cursed energy, completely drained, and Gojo still had some left in the tank. But he was way stronger. He still had something up his sleeve. What the fuck was up his sleeve? Now, like I said, it's not that Gojo died. If he's really dead for real or not, I've seen some copium online. Who knows? It's not that he died that makes it bad. It's that the fight was completely one-sided. And then the admission that Sukuna was stronger and still had something left on up his sleeve, he wasn't going all out, that wasn't the case. Like we read it, we were there, we saw it. And to have him win by an ass pull like that, now, I'm fine with an ass pull or two in an anime or a manga. It's gonna happen. But to have Sukuna go through a thing where he's like, oh, I just had this long convoluted explanation about how I cut through like time and space in order to hit you. So I didn't cut you, I just cut the space around you. I will actually say that is kind of cool. Like in retrospect, that is a cool power. Oh yeah, also the Yorozu gift. I don't fucking care about the Yorozu gift at this point. But it's not the ass pull. It's the fact that this is the second time it's happened. And yes, I am referencing the Kenjaku versus Yuki Tsukimo fight. That was egregious horseshit. Where, sorry, no, I'm once again, in my opinion, that was egregious horseshit. That is my opinion. I'm coming off like I'm the world's biggest Jujutsu Kaisen hater. I do love Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm a Jujutsu Kaisen fan. The reason I'm so passionate about this right now is because I love Jujutsu Kaisen. There is the Yuki Tsukimo fight where Yuki was clearly the winner. Like she won that. And then to have Kenjaku somehow win the fight with an ass pull that made less sense than Nezuko can survive in the sun even though she's a demon just because, I don't know, maybe she ate a flower once. That makes more sense to me than Kenjaku being like, okay, well, actually, when I was Yuji's mom once, I had this power that negates gravity, so her black hole did nothing to me. Yeah, sure, buddy. That does remind me of, oh god, who is it that said, you're more willing, oh no, it's Vsauce. It was sorry, this is a weird tangent. Vsauce's video, no, it was Anthony Padilla interviewing Vsauce. I'm a big Vsauce fan. And Vsauce was talking about how you're much more likely to accept something impossible in fiction than you are to accept something improbable. Take Jujutsu Kaisen for example. I'm way less willing to accept that Kenjaku just happened to have this anti-gravity power stored away than I am to accept that there are people in a universe that can use ghost powers to fight each other. I'm more willing to accept the impossible thing than the improbable thing. I don't know, just an interesting thing that I remember just now. Back to the whole ass pull thing, and the problem with having two just egregious ass pull victories like this, where one character is clearly winning a fight in a one-sided manner. It's a beautifully played fight where they put their all on the line and they somehow like pull it together, and it's fucking awesome. And it's a very satisfying victory, only to have it pulled away from them in just a moment of complete bullshit like that. Having that happen twice. What are these ass pulls? What do they even mean at this point? Did Yuki have to die and does Gojo have to die in order to build up hype for a character we haven't had any meaningful interaction with in the manga for the past 2 years of almost weekly releases for them to finish the job that they started? Is that the buildup? Is that the reason that this had to happen? I get it. He couldn't have been in the manga too much because he's too convenient. He's too powerful. Is it really to hype up Yuji? I mean, Yuji's one of my favorite. I love Yuji. He's a great protagonist in my opinion. And especially, it just feels like a huge fumble on Gege's part. I don't know. Like, who am I to criticize him as an author? Because once again, like, it's his story to tell. But it's just like, I don't know. The one thing that's been going through my mind lately when I think about it, this is just pure conjecture. Once again, and everything I'm saying is my opinion. If I sound like a huge hater, I promise I'm not. I do love Jujutsu Kaisen. But to me, I sometimes think, does Gege Akutami even want to be writing this? Like, is he happy doing this? I don't know. That's how Jujutsu Kaisen has felt to me for a while now. Just the state of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like, shit just happens. Like, we don't see Yuji for, like, fucking forever. He did say he wanted to end soon. But, like this is what happened with Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul had such an amazing wind-up. And like, I get it. If I go back and reread Tokyo Ghoul, I'm probably not going to think it's as good as I thought it was back in the day as an edgy teenager. But Sui Ishida, when he was writing Tokyo Ghoul, he got burned out, he got tired, he had so many plot points and so many characters that and concepts that he just couldn't tie up, and he just wanted to end it. So there was a lot of loose ends that were left untied. Now I feel like, I don't know, this is just speculation that it's just, to me, it feels like the passion's gone, I guess. I don't know. I will say, this is my hot take on this new chapter. This, aside from him saying that Sukuna was way stronger, even though that was not the case in the fight, this is actually a pretty good send-off. I actually think that it was very heartfelt. If this is really it for him, that's actually a good send-off. I don't mind. That's my huge problem with it. There it is, the big thing. How good do you think Kashima is gonna do? Okay, I will say, after this chapter, I really don't feel like reading Jujutsu Kaisen anymore. With the bullshit that happened over in the last chapter and over the past few years in general, with just all the bullshit surrounding everything going on in the manga, I've just, like, after this, I was kind of like, I'm fine with dropping it. But I will say, I am kind of hyped for Kashimo. I gotta admit it. I am gonna read this fight. I'm gonna see what happens here. Maybe Gege's, maybe this is copium. Maybe Gege is still cooking. This is gonna be the best fight in manga history. But look at this guy. I will say, this intro is fucking hard. This is a hard fucking intro for a character. Without taking any time to mourn the death of Satoru Gojo, soaring towards the battlefield was the god of lightning, Hajime Kashimo. In my opinion, that's pretty fucking hard. I will say, credit where credit's due. I'm kind of cool with that. Like, I'm excited to see where that goes. There it is. That's my rant. That's my 236 rant. I wanted to get out my opinion that it's more than just, was it good? Was it bad? There were elements of it that were good, but just the writing is so egregiously horrible to me. That's just my opinion, you know? You feel me?